Book Noggin, and I wanted to share with you a collection of short stories. These are centered around werewolf short stories. So this book that they put out for a fair and honest review, because I feel like there are not enough werewolf fiction out there. So I was like, yes, I will definitely read and review that. Now, I'm going to be straight out honest with you guys. I only know one name out of this collection of authors, and that's Holly Ray Garcia. This is my first time ever having read anything by her. I'm not familiar with any of the other authors. After each story, it does kind of give you a little short little paragraph blurb to kind of explain a little more about the authors who wrote the stories. But first off, I don't usually do this. I read the introduction by the editor who put it together, and he explains why it's called The Call of the Wild, spelled the way it is, and it's kind of a tribute to his father or his grandfather. I don't really remember who. But that kind of complicates things. It kind of makes things not so easy to kind of help get a werewolf anthology seen when you call it something that's almost the same as The Call of the Wild, which is about a wolf, written by Jack London. So I feel like that's kind of like, I probably, if I was the one editing this, I probably would have named it something different. And the cover is pretty. It's pretty. It's a pretty cover. I'll give it that. But I don't really feel that it's appropriate for a werewolf anthology. Wolf on a Mountain Peak. It just kind of, along with the title, kind of makes you think, oh, well, is this like another nature book? Is it a book about wolves? So, like, I feel like it's something like maybe a werewolf howling or, scratch marks or something, would have been more appropriate to represent that this is a werewolf anthology, but that's just me. That's just my take on it. Just throwing it out there. You can take my opinion with a grain of salt if you want. But, there were some very enjoyable stories I kind of jotted down the ones I particularly enjoyed. The first story that you come upon is called The Mort Safe, and that was written by a fellow named Liam Hogan, who I've never read anything by. And I really enjoyed that one. It takes place, I think, in the 17 or 1800s, somewhere. I don't know if it really tells you the time period. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's an older time period because, I kind of gave me vibes that it was like in the 1800s, like the time of Jack the Ripper and all that. But we run across a young lady who is, she's trying to make a living, and this guy kind of befriends her. She's attacked by a werewolf, and he plots out something to try to help her cope with that, while at the same time trying to get the werewolf who turned her originally. And that one had a surprising plot twist, which I really enjoyed. And that one I gave a 4 out of 5 star rating to. There were only like 2 stories that I gave 5-star ratings to. One of them was The Werewolf's Lament, written by Holly Ray Garcia. This is my first time ever having read anything by Holly Ray Garcia. I know that she has a book about a Bigfoot, and I have not read it. I know it was kind of trending here in HorrorTube with certain BookTube channels, but I have yet to read it. But I really enjoyed her prose. It was written like kind of a prose, kind of almost like a poem, kind of. It was kind of a lyrical kind of tale about a werewolf, and I found that one to be very enjoyable. There was another 5-star story that I read. Oh, what was it? Walking the Dog. That one I really enjoyed. Let me see who wrote Walking the Dog. Walking Dog was written by David J. Rank, and he's another one. I've never heard of this guy before, but I really enjoyed the story. Now, this one is about a park ranger who kind of comes across the little girl. Little girl's got a leash, and it's the middle of the night. So, you know, you're not supposed to be in the park after dusk, you know. You're not supposed to be in the park, and I'm waiting for my dad and dog. And it's just kind of vague, and the guy kind of wanders into the woods trying to find this little girl's dad because he's concerned about why, because she's dressed kind of in ragged, like a ragged coat, like, you know, he feels concerned because he doesn't know what's going on, and yeah, that one was good. There were some stinkers. There was one, I gave one story a 1-star rating, and it was called Howling on the Moon. For me, this felt like a really campy, kind of cheesy story about an astronaut who's a werewolf. Just wasn't for me. Just wasn't for me. And that one was like the 3rd story in. There were some other good ones, like... Sorry about that. My camera battery had died right when I was getting ready to tell you about some of the great stories in this collection. There was another 4-star story called... Rewilding, and let me see who that one was written by. That one was pretty good. Rewilding was written by Eric Nash, and let me see what page is that, because I kind of remember this one. Okay, yes, this is the one about the girl in the city, and it kind of looks like she's being stalked by somebody. That one was another twist ending. I really love, like, twist endings. I like when you think something's happening and then they allude to something happening and then something else is really going on. I really enjoy that. And then, you know, the rest I thought were pretty average. Like, I gave the other stories in this collection about a 3-star rating. There was only like one story that was 1 star, and then there was another story that I gave a 2-star rating to. Wolf Door. What the fuck was the name of that one? Wolf is Always at Your Door. I didn't really care for that one all that much. That one was about a PI, and they happen to know a magic user, kind of like a Constantine type of character who gets bitten by a werewolf, and yeah, I just wasn't feeling that one. But if you are interested in reading about werewolves, you're looking for short stories about werewolves, you want to, you know, read some, go check this out. You're supporting a small independent publishing company. This is by Wild Blood, is the name of the publisher. They're out of the UK. So, yeah, of course they do have stuff on Kindle if you don't want to have stuff shipped from the UK. You know, you can pick these up on Amazon. You know, of course, as always, I tell you guys, you know, I provide links to Amazon down below. If you got something from watching this video, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. I do base my ratings of anthologies based on a total average. I gave each individual story a star rating 1 through 5. I then total those all up, and then I do an average for the complete collection, and this one totaled out to be a 3-star average for the total collection, just based on the ratings I had given each individual story. So I try to be fair with that. I feel like that's the fairest system versus, you know, because sometimes you'll have anthologies and they may put the best in the beginning or near the end and then a bunch of filler stuff in between, and I feel like they do that because it kind of inflates the ratings. Like when you're finishing a book, if you put one of your best stories at the end of a collection and that's the last one they finish off with, then they might go and rate the whole book based on that ending, that last story, and I don't feel like that's fair. I always try to be fair when it comes to complete collections, anthologies. I feel like that's the best, fairest way to rate those kind of books. And I gave this one a 3 out of 5 star. Like I just mentioned before, I will have a link to Amazon if you want to check this out for yourselves. Go check out this book. I thought it was worthwhile reading. Even though the complete collection I gave it a 3 out of 5 star rating, doesn't mean it's bad. I hate when people just assume that a 3-star means it's bad. No, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's good. It's worth picking up. If I gave it a 2 or less, then yeah, I would say, you know, don't bother. But, you know, I did get something out of it. I enjoyed it. It was a short, quick little read. It was only a total of, 160 some odd pages, so it wasn't really that long of a book. But yeah, and if you want to help support my channel, I will have a link to my Ko-fi as well down below. And if you came here looking for book reviews and book recommendations, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. I don't upload every week like I used to. I been kind of more sporadic. You know, I've got things that require more attention and focus from me, so I can't upload a video every week like I used to. If I solely relied on my income coming from YouTube, like if this was a full-time job, then I would be uploading every week. But I can't do that, guys. I've been doing this for over 10 years, and a majority of that time I was on a strict schedule uploading every week, and I can't do that anymore. Just can't. It is what it is, but you know, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for tuning in and checking out this video about werewolves. I feel like it's an underrated niche that, you know, there's just not enough werewolf fiction out there. So when you can find it, go grab it. Till next time, later guys.